Hello, let's say you are, I don't know, a British head of state and you want to let your 94-year-old husband, I don't know, drive the President of the United States of America around. Hitherto you've only had one choice, you've had a Range Rover. Really, it is the obvious choice, isn't it? This is the top spec one, SVAutobiography they call it, and it's now 150,000 quid. Because Range Rover are not the only people to realise that somebody wants to spend lots of money on SUVs, which means there is potentially a new rival for it. So this is the Bentley Bentayga I think. The basic price is 160,000 quid, but most people after options will, let's face it, spend about £200,000 on one of these. So let's see which of them displays the best British regalness to the world. So what we'll do is a couple of things. We will show what they're like inside, what they're like to ride in the back of, and crucially, what they like to drive. So first things first, to the interior of the Range Rover. So, first thing to note is Range Rover has gone for it's tried to spec up the inside of this car. So it's gone for this knurled finish. So it's got one here, it's got one here. The thing is, at 150,000 quid, I think it's starting to feel a little bit out of its price range, to be honest with you. This stuff is all a little bit accessorised diamante, to be honest with you. I think the problem that Range Rover has got here is it is a beautifully put together car at its normal price, which is up to sort of £100,000. When you're asking another 50 grand for it, you don't really expect to be able to put your hand underneath that veneer and twiddle it around quite like that. It's a shame, but I suspect the Bentley might just feel a little class above. And so to the inside of the Bentley, where there is soft closed door. Oh, and the whole thing just has a nice ambience in here. There is knurling as well on the metal, but where it is done, it is very obviously metal. The beautifully damped organ stops. The leather is soft. I've seen these steering wheels be handmade. It's extraordinary. And this, you know, this wood is proper, genuine, thick wood, veneered onto large lumps of other wood. It feels like you're on your way in to the Bentley range, and the Range Rover, unfortunately, no fault of the existing model, but it feels like it's on the way out of the Range Rover's range. This feels inside a class apart. Okay, so let's do a sort of ride quality test in the back. It's a little bit knobbly, isn't it? In fairness, instead of a very rough road, we've got a very smooth off-road. Well, I can feel the Range Rover's air suspension doing its best to try and keep things smooth out. I've got my luxury bottle of champagne, which I can see is, you know what, it's not splashing around too much. And if I try and send a message on my state-of-the-art multimedia equipment here, actually I'm not getting battered around too much. Actually, the Michelle Obama seat, you know, it's pretty good place to be, I've got to be honest. And so to the inside of the Bentley, where I get a pleasingly finished table. I'll tell you what, my champagne flute is taking a bit more of a battering, and it just does not feel, because it isn't. It is not as flat, it is not as supple and absorbent. Even though we've knocked the dampers into comfort, it's just not as absorbent as the Range Rover is. But it is beautifully finished. I think I've probably got a little bit more room in the Range Rover, but the fit and finish back here is absolutely first class. You probably want to be in the Range Rover, but to actually just look at and be impressed by, this is the car of choice. So, well, this is actually a pretty nice driving environment, whether you're 94 or not. I mean, visibility is brilliant. I've got a nice low window line, somewhere to rest my arms, big armchairs for me and the President. I mean, this is a nice place to spend time, whoever you are. But let's just see how it goes through our handling course. So immediately, it feels quite a tall, quite a heavy piece of kit, but it's doing its best. You know, this is a Range Rover. It's on air suspension. It tries to keep its body flat, tries to keep its movements in check, but it's a large off-roader, very capable. Engine makes a great noise, doesn't it? The gearbox responds well too. A sports car it isn't, but it is having a go, and up until now, it's done it better than anything else, certainly of its capability off-road. And this is the Bentley. Already, I feel like it's more sporty. You know, you sit lower. I've got this high sill here, high dashboard there. Again, I could select the gears with paddles on the steering wheel. It's fast. I mean, it's really fast. It's got this 600 brake W12 engine. Doesn't make as nice a noise as the Range Rover, does it? I don't think. Just sounds sort of a bit V6-y. Doesn't say to you, this is a 200 grand noise, but there you go. Right, let's see how it is in the handling course. And it is very much more tightly controlled than the Range Rover, as well it ought to be. It feels lower, doesn't necessarily feel any lighter, because I strongly suspect it isn't when you weigh the two of them together. It's a bit heavy in the nose, it would be. I mean, we always kind of prefer Bentleys when they fit that twin turbocharged V8 rather than the big W12. Because it does push on at the front just a little bit, but there's loads of grip actually. And then you just wait for it to come back, wait for those to come back, get to the next straight, and away you go. Yes. They're asking a lot of a car of this weight and size. Last then, but very much not least, also soft closed doors, the Range Rover in its totally natural habitat. The light off-road of a British country estate. It's got a really long throttle travel, so you have to encourage it to get going, and actually off-road that makes it very smooth, even though it's got this supercharged V8 engine. Of course, a little bit knobbly, isn't it? You've got this really high driving position, a really beautifully low sill, low window line, so visibility, despite the fact this is a massive car, is very, very good. This is where this car really comes into its element. This is where, whereas the Bentley has 185 miles an hour top speed and has to be some kind of sports car, this is where the Range Rover is allowed to be what an SUV, what a 4x4 should be. So which is ultimately the car of choice? You know what, I think it's a really, really tough decision. I think the Range Rover would do better were it one of the lesser models. I think it's more impressive than it is at 150 grand, and you know what? If I was a head of state, I might be quite tempted to stick with it, but I have a little suspicion that Bentley have a Bentayga put aside just in case they get the call.